Hey, T-Squad mugs up, because today's cup is piping hot with twists, betrayal, and a 13-year fight for justice. We're heading to York in England, where the quiet life of a man named David Clarke ended in a way no one could have imagined, and the truth stayed buried for over a decade. This is the shocking murder next door, the case of David Clarke. David Clarke was a 3-year-old surveyor, a devoted family man with a love for chess and football. Friends and family describe him as kind, caring, and a brilliant storyteller. He had faced some challenges, depression, and struggles with alcohol, but nothing prepared his loved ones for what was about to happen. David lived in a block of flats in York. Just doors away was his neighbor, David Roustoby. On the surface, they were friendly enough. They'd have a drink together now and then. But behind closed doors, Roustoby harbored resentment and, as it turned out, a deadly plan. One evening in spring, David went over to Roustoby's flat for a drink. That was the last time anyone saw him alive. The next day, his body was found face down in the River Foss. A dog walker made the grim discovery. At first, investigators struggled. The autopsy found alcohol in David's system and something else, diazepam, a sedative his family swore he would never take. Still, with no obvious signs of a struggle and Roustoby being the last to see him alive, the case was left open. The official verdict was neither accident nor homicide, just unanswered. Years passed. The Clarke family never believed it was an accident, but without new evidence, the case sat cold. Then, more than a decade later, a break came from the unlikeliest source, a home CCTV system. A friend of Roustoby had a camera running inside his own home, and it captured something chilling. Roustoby himself, bragging about killing David Clarke. On the recording, he described inviting David over, plying him with alcohol and diazepam, then strangling him with a tie. He admitted that his girlfriend, Sharon, helped dispose of the body in the river. That recording changed everything. Police reopened the case. Roustoby was arrested and charged with murder. Sharon was later charged too, not for killing David, but for helping cover it up. She had lied to police and even reported her car stolen to hide their tracks. When the trial began at Leeds Crown Court, the jury heard Roustoby's own words. That secret recording painted a clear picture of premeditation, betrayal, and cruelty. For 13 years, Roustoby had walked free, pretending to be just another neighbor. But the mask was off. The jury found him guilty of murder. The judge called it a cowardly and callous crime. Roustoby was sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 19 years before he could be considered for release. Sharon received over 2 years for assisting him. For David Clarke's family, it was bittersweet justice. They'd fought for answers for over a decade, and while nothing could bring David back, knowing his killer would spend a very long time behind bars brought some comfort. In a final act of closure, the coroner later updated the original inquest verdict. David's death was officially ruled an unlawful killing by ligature strangulation, the truth finally on record. T-Squad, this case is a haunting reminder that justice can take years, even decades, but persistence matters. It took one unexpected recording to expose a killer who thought he'd gotten away with murder. So keep your mugs up and your eyes open. Sometimes the quietest streets hide the darkest secrets. If you found today's case gripping, drop a teapot emoji in the comments, share this episode with your fellow true crime lovers, and remember your support keeps the tea brewing. Links to support the show are in the description. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep sipping that true crime tea.